Yo, Fregata is kind of Marcus 2.0, high mobility pilot with very unique playstyle, insane mobility, letting her fly across the map like it's nothing. Normally, triggering re-attack from neural drives is a pain because of the you must not have move condition. Fregata, she ignored that. Thanks to her jump skill, same range as her movement, lets her move, jump in, still trigger re-attack. This makes her way more consistent, way more aggressive, and honestly, just way more fun to play. But she need invest to really shine, and once you get her signature weapon, that's when she truly shine. If you like high mobility pilot, hit and run gameplay, and cool looking style ST, you gonna love Fregata. Let's see what she can really do. Thanks to her talent, Fregata can share the same range across all equipped weapons. Example, equip the flamethrower for range. Your shotgun also get for range. This opens up very flexible and creative weapon setup. Hit and run playstyle. After combat, she can move 3 tiles again. Perfect for hit and run tactics. At A3, range and ideal range are shared between both weapons. This makes her positioning and damage output even more consistent, and in my honest opinion, A3 is kinda must for her. Skill 1. Offensive skill. Attacks using both weapons at once. If one arm is destroyed, this skill loses value. This skill is important because it grants post-combat buffs, based of the weapon type. Shotgun, enemy armor minus 50%, machine gun up to 20% damage, and flamethrower enable fixed damage. But this skill costs 6 AP, which is very expensive. Good news, Fregata has a passive that helps reduce AP cost. We'll cover that next. Skill 2. Support skill Jump. As a raider, triggering re-attack is usually difficult due to the must not have move condition. But not for Fregata with this skill. Her jump skill shares the same range as her movement, allows move, jump plus re-attack. No need to meet the usual condition. This makes her much more consistent, much easier to chain follow-up attacks. In addition, if we destroy enemies, it will reduce skill cooldown. Skill 3, Option 1, Passive. Grants 15% crit rate when attacking. This is solid passive, but not priority on release. Later on, when Fregata gets her signature weapon and better AP management, you can consider switching to this for more damage consistency. But recommended on release, Skill 3, Option 2. Why? Fregata's main issue is high AP consumption, especially with her 6 AP offensive skill. This passive helps fix that when Fregata attacks and the enemy cannot counterattack. She gains energy saving stacks up to 3. Each stack reduces AP cost by 1 per attack, up to minus 3 AP total. So avoiding counterattacks is usually okay with good positioning. For now, use the AP reduction passive. Later, with more investments, consider switching to crit rate passive, because neural drives and signature weapon will further improve her AP economy. Signature weapon. Alright, this is where Fregata really starts to come together. When using her dual weapon attack, Skill 1, she gains guaranteed 2 stacks of energy saving. What does that mean? After using the skill plus re-attack, your next attack costs minus 2 AP. And we also get plus 15 final damage. This alone already fixes a big part of her AP hungry playstyle. But there is more. If Fregata has plus 5 buffs, which is very easy for her with proper setup. She restores plus 1 AP after combat, triggers once per turn. This adds even more consistency and sustain to her rotation. Universal passive, passive 1, scale with buffs, up to 30% damage, very easy to maintain on Fregata. Passive 2 grants crit rate and hit rate, only when attacking at ideal range. This second one requires good positioning, but becomes much easier at A3 Fregata. Downside, we'll not see this weapon soon because it's AC14. Shadow Rabbit ST. Very cool, style looking ST. One of my favorite design. 4-piece set. Every time your pilot gain a buff, you gain a stack. This means every turn, every re-attack, every buff from support pilot, every weapon accessory trigger, every module effect, every weapon passive, every talent passive. Whenever a buff is gained, you gain stack. And here is the best part. Even if you trigger the same buff again in the same turn, it still counts. Some pilots can reach max stacks in just one attack. Some can gain 2 free stacks without even moving. It works on any pilot. The only difference is how fast they ramp. With the right combination of talent, weapon, ST, modules, passive. Why is so strong? No enemy side condition, purely dependent on your own buffs. Work on the both, code skills and active skills. It's flexible and easy to activate, and this module works on basically any pilot. Some reach max stacks faster, some ramp slightly slower. But because of how many buff sources exist in the game, this ends up being one of the best early game DPS modules. Rainbow effect need to be in combat and attack target at ideal range. So rainbow effect is only for raiders. Good for shotgun pilots like Frida, Fregata or Marcus. I'll keep this simple and honest. My recommendation is no. This is ST exclusive. Why I don't recommend it? We already have strong universal options like Ref 02, Rex, Glacia, Twilight Fang. Compared to those, Shadow Rabbit ST is locked to raiders only. The real issue, investment cost. The modules are actually T0 quality, some of the best in the game. And here is the problem. If you want make a Rainbow ST Shadow Rabbit and produce these modules, at least 2 sets, that will cost a lot of pulls. Even though it's strong, the cost is just too high. Of course, up to you if you decide, but my recommendation is no if you want to build Rainbow Shadow Rabbit ST. Weapon setup. Fregata signature weapon will naturally pair with flamethrower. But for now, you can mix depending on the stage and what you need. For example, flamethrower plus shotgun, best overall balance. But we can go shotgun plus machine gun. Good alternative if you don't need fixed damage. Module recommendation. Fregata currently has limited optimal module options. Rex modules aren't good for Fregata. Because of that, the best current option is Dread Talon set. Weapon accessories recommendation. Yo, Neural Drives overview. This section is mainly for free-to-play planning. If you decide to invest, minimum recommendation is 3 bindings, because her neural drives in Sector 2 offer very strong quality of upgrades. 1 CP now grants +1 stack energy saving when using single weapon attack. 7 CP standard re-attack improvement. 10 CP now each arm can trigger 1 CP passive. This means we can trigger it twice in the same turn. 13 CP provides up to 20% damage boost. And 16 CP, this is the big quality of life upgrade. When using dual weapon attack, both arms now trigger 1 CP passive, and thanks to this passive, we can constantly activate her passive effects during combat, and it doesn't matter is a one hand or 2 hands attack. Final thoughts, is Fregata worth it? Well, fighters and snipers are expected to dominate endgame. Sorry, not expected, they will dominate endgame, which most raiders struggle to keep up due to their gameplay nature. expect a few like Matilda and Frida. Fighters can constantly act 4 or 5 times per turn, which naturally give them stronger scaling in later content. Rosa Judgment is likely coming next patch. If you're low on the pulse, it may be smarter to save for Rosa instead. If we could compare Fregata to Marcus is fine and better with low investments. Fregata should be better with high investments. Fregata also needs to wait for signature weapon. Remember her passives? This is huge quality of life and make her finally easy to play, because she is AP hungry, and without signature weapon, it's not fun to play. So I would wait when she will get her signature weapon if you like Fregata. Personal take, I'm skipping Fregata, but I will pull one copy of her ST, Shadow Rabbit, convert it into modules, and I don't plan to go deeper even with her signature weapon arrives. Means no future plan to pull for Fregata. Hope this helped you plan your pulls and understand how Fregata works. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one. Bye bye.